Woo! Hi guys! Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
gosh.
we're doing this. We're doing this. It's happening. Welcome to the I Am Fun Size virtual book launch party, which is also probably the longest name of a party that I have ever heard in my entire life. Try tweeting that. That's takes up a lot of space. I am your host and author, Anjali Bhamani. Thank you guys for being here. I'm so excited. I keep clapping and I don't know why. Today is a very exciting day here at Fun Size Central because it marks the launch of the paperback and the audiobook coming to a theater near you. We already have the ebook out, which we're really excited about. You can already get that on Amazon, and the paperback and the audiobook are going to be made available on Amazon very, very soon. You can already get the paperback at streamily.com/Anjali Bhamani, which is where you get all the prints and fun stuff. But enough about that. Let's talk a little bit about I Am Fun Size real quick. For those of you who are not familiar, I Am Fun Size was a series I started in 2017. It was a love letter to this amazing community that you are in, this beautiful online community of artists and lovers and dreamers and kind people who were so supportive of each other and of me. And I wanted to give something back, right? Because you guys are so good to us. The one thing I know that I have to give the world that no one else has is my experiences. And how I've dealt with them, for better or for worse, sometimes graceful, sometimes very not graceful. And so I started doing the series to answer questions from people about life. And I don't see it as giving advice because I don't really believe in giving advice. Ultimately, you're giving an opinion, no matter who you are, and someone either takes it or not. So I basically shared my stories in a way to say, I don't know how you should handle this, but I remember this time in my life where this happened and this is how I dealt with it. And I found through the course of the series that people were really enjoying it and finding that it made a big difference in their lives. And so thanks to one of our guests here that is coming, who's already in the chat, I'm talking about you, Sadie Lopez, and some other champions who were pushing me to write a book, the book, ta-da, happened. And here we are today. A lot of you who are here are also Kickstarter supporters. We ran a really lovely Kickstarter at the end of last year, actually this time last year. And as a result, we were able to publish the book. I was able to start a publishing company, record the audiobook, get the ebook out there. Everything that's happening right now is because of that Kickstarter. So huge thanks to everybody over there. Today, we also have something very special that we are doing. We are raising funds for a charity organization, a community organization called the Underdog Community Project. And our first guest is the CEO and owner and creator and awesome human who made Underdog Community Project happen. And her name is Liv Siegel. And Liv, if you would pop your camera on right now, the people can see your beautiful face. And let's unmute you and hear a little bit about the Underdog Community Project. So hang on a second. Give us a second for Danny to add set. Do we have it? Is it ready, Danny? Danny is the voice of God that you are going to hear coming out occasionally. You may or may not hear her, but I can hear her. So if I sound like I'm talking to no one, I'm talking to Danny. I'm not as crazy as I look. Liv, hi.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited that we are able to support your amazing organization. Would you tell everybody here about the Underdog Community Project and what you do?
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Anjali, for having us. We got to meet very recently, which I'm so grateful for. So I started the Underdog Community Project in February of last year, 2021. And what we do is we provide free, completely free, no-cost veterinary care for the pets of the homeless. So we primarily work in the Skid Row area of downtown Los Angeles. Right now, the population of Skid Row is reaching about 50,000 individuals, which is only increasing.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea it was that many people.
It's huge. And then if you tie that to the pet population, that is about 3,000 and counting right now. which is a lot. So I started doing outreach work, just getting to know the community and how special and kind they are. And I realized that they don't have the access to any sort of veterinary care. And of course, we are all animal lovers and they take care of their pets just as well as we do. So, I wanted to give back and actually provide this care for them. So we have held 22 successful veterinary clinics. We have treated over 1,000 pets with free vaccines, preventative medications. We even do specialty cases like paralyzed dogs, getting them wheelchairs, or dogs with cancer, getting them diagnostics. So we try to really be a support system for them, and they've been very, very receptive to it as well, which is so amazing. And there's another thing I wanted to touch on. The city of Los Angeles has actually passed a bill. It's called Bill 4118. And I'm sure most of you do not know about it because they have not really announced it to the public very well. They're keeping it quite under wraps. And 4118 is actually criminalizing homelessness. It has been passed, and it is now legal to arrest someone for being homeless, for sleeping on the sidewalk, for having property on the sidewalk. So these days, what they can do is actually arrest someone, take all of their things, and take their pets. By doing that, they put their pets into a city-run shelter to then be probably put down due to space. So it's really, really unfortunate that the public doesn't know about Bill 4118. So I definitely recommend, educate yourself, learn what the government is doing in your community, in your city, and help support organizations like us who do really give back each month and support pets, because pets, these dogs and cats on Skid Row, they are really providing, emotional, mental support for those who are experiencing substance abuse, mental illness, or even just, income instability. So it's been really a joy, meeting all of these people and just learning about their lives.
Right. I have a question now, because this is news to me too about Bill 4118. Is this something that we as voters can affect in these midterm elections, or is this something that's already passed and has gone through?
It is something that's already passed, but I do believe Prop 27 right now, if you vote yes to Prop 27, there will be an increase of funding for like continuum of care programs, just supportive programs for the homeless. But unfortunately, it is already passed and the public has no idea, which is quite shocking.
Yeah. This is, we're going to have more conversations about this offline, because we're going to see what we can do about, we have a rather large unhoused population here in Los Angeles, for those of you who don't live here. And a lot of them are people who need mental health care or physical care more than just need to be, need housing. They need more support than that. And I mean, you guys know how much I love Charlie, right? You've seen it. I cannot imagine not having the resources to take care of him. We would sell our house if we had to. So this is why the Underdog Community Project is so important in my heart, because I think it would just be absolutely awful to be someone who's already experiencing homelessness and then on top of it all can't take care of this loved creature. So please today, you guys, you see the little, there should be a little button underneath the YouTube magic there. Technology is magic that I don't understand, but I know there's a button there that allows you to donate to the Underdog Community Project, and check them out online. It's underdogcommunityproject.org, right?
Yes.
Okay.
.org. And our social medias is at UD Community Project.
Perfect. So check them out online. Big love to you and Dr. G. Liv. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to see you later this week for our own little secret meeting, secret rendezvous, which is not a secret anymore because I just told everyone about it. And we'll see you both very soon.
Thank you so much. And congratulations, Anjali. So exciting.
Thank you. We'll talk to you real soon. Okay, so as you can see, you guys, now hopefully you understand why this is really important to me. And I think it should be really important to all of us. And also something that really drew me to this organization in particular, and that is very connected to the mission of the book and of the series, is that a lot of times, because there are big charities who are getting a lot of funding, and we've all heard about them, we've all heard about the ASPCA, we've heard about certain shelters, there are smaller organizations that are on the ground, feet on the ground, doing things like the UCP, who are not necessarily having the broader voice to be able to get some help. So if you have an organization near you, a smaller organization that you can help, please, please, please consider spreading the word, because signal boosting like that is really, really important. It's important that their voices are heard and that they don't feel like they're alone. Just like this book, the whole main reason, the main goal of this book is to let everyone know, no matter how unique your circumstances, no matter how difficult the experiences you're going through, we may not necessarily be going through the same thing, but you're never alone. There's always someone there. There's someone there to make a joke. There's someone there to cry on their shoulder. There's someone there to cheer you on, whatever it is. There's someone out there, and we would miss you if you were gone. So with that, I am going to bring on one of my favorite champions of I Am Fun Size, who was also a guest on the I Am Fun Size series. He is a very, 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 very special friend of mine. His name is Seti Lopez, aka Seti or Not, aka Once Upon a Time the Green Dumpling, but now he's so much more. He's Seti. I'm going to admit him into this room. He's going to pop on the screen. Then he's going to make technological magic happen. There he is, Seti Lopez.
Hello.
Hi. It's been so long since I've seen your beautiful face.
Oh my
You guys
God.
are the one and only Seti Lopez. Follow him on all the socials. All of them. He is such an extraordinary human. He's such an extraordinary champion of other people. He is one of the very first people who told me that I needed to write this book like 94 years ago. Okay, couldn't be 94 years ago because the show started in 2017, but like early when we first met online, that was, you were already telling me you should write the book. And I was like, whatever. No one wants to hear from me. And surprise, it turned out that we need to write a book.
I am so happy for you. You know what? I just posted a tweet. I'm not so sure if you have the time, like a 1 minute to spend to watch it right now with everybody. I don't mind sharing the link with people because I think it's important.
Okay, let's take a look at Seti's tweet.
Yeah.
Seti is on Twitter. On Twitter, you guys, Seti is at Seti or Not, CEDDYORNOT. Let's see what he says.
Whatever.
Oh is this about the book? Oh my God, you are adorable. Is there any way, Dani, that I can like put that on the screen? Is there a magic?
I don't think so, but like I think while you're watching,
here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it like this, you guys, because you'll be able to see. That's the high-tech way we're gonna make this happen. So hang on a second. I'm gonna change the screen. Then I'm going to come back to the screen. Then I'm going to turn on the volume on my phone. And hopefully we will stop getting all of these notifications on my phone, which seem to be popping up every 5 seconds. High tech, you guys. This is a high tech situation that we've got.
I'm so sorry to put you on the spot like that, but.
No. It's okay. It's okay. Let's see if we can make it happen.
I remember interviewing her back then.
Okay, wait. We're going to start all over again. Seti or Not. High tech, kids. High tech. Very high tech.
Yes.
So much knowledge and great advice, and I said to her, why are you not writing a book? Finally she did it, and it turned out so great. Now this book is not just your usual, you gotta think positively, you gotta have that winning mentality. No, Anjali is keeping it 100% real with you because she's gone through so much in her life. You know, being an actress in Hollywood, I'm pretty sure she has dealt with some shitty people, rejection and whatnot, and she is open and vulnerable about it. And that's what I like about this book, because on top of all this great advice, you get to catch many glimpses of her life with her important friends, and her beautiful doggo Charlie is in here as well. Go get a copy if you can. Of course, I'm saying all this because she's a good friend of mine, but also we all need good reminder from time to time. Wait, did you think I'm bullshitting you when I said that I suggested her to write this book? It's in her book. My name is here.
That's right, it is. Oh, Seti, I should have known you would have done something ridiculously special like that. You guys, one of the many things that I love so much about Seti, and the reason that we talked about this on his episode of I Am Fun Size, is that I firmly believe that it's important in life to find your champions. And your champions can be anyone. They can be someone who works for you, like an agent or a manager or a boss or whatever, or they can be just a best friend who is constantly talking about how amazing you are or helping you figure out the problems in your life. Someone who is a loudspeaker, projecting out the best of who you are and reminding you that you are accepted exactly for what you are, but that you are not allowed to be less than you can be. You got to keep aiming for that height. And SETI is such a huge. I cannot tell you how much I love this fellow. SETI, tell the folks about what you do in the world.
Oh wow. Okay, so like what Anjali said, your champion can be anyone. And also anywhere. Like I am like 6,464 miles away from where she is, but I will always, root for her. I will always, fight bitches, on her behalf. And so I'm from Malaysia, and I know some of you are like, how did this connection happen? I'm telling you this is because I was just genuinely a big fan of Symmetra. Of course, it's not really Symmetra, but the person that gave life to her. That is, of course, Anjali, right? And I remember just sending a tweet to her, and I said, "Oh, but it was something like that 5 years ago, I think." I said, "Oh, by the way, I really love. Thank you so much for giving life to Symmetra." And then guess what? She replied, and I was like, and she was so kind, and she was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then she got into my DM, and I was like, "Wait, hold on. You're telling me that the queen responded to me and she gave me so much advice." Let me tell y'all, okay? Before I explained to everyone what I do for a living right now as a content creator. You can ask Anjali. I was doubting myself so much. I was hardcore rejecting every fucking possibility of putting myself out there because I was so scared. And I would say to myself, "Oh, I really want to try podcasting, but what if people judge me? What if people say this about me? Nah, 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 nah." And you know what Anjali said to me? She said, "You know what? I'm going to be your first guest if you wanted to." I was like, I sure as hell
let's talk about what happened even before that, because I think it's really important for people to understand like the role of a champion, because you can be this for anyone else. It's not just about you finding your champions, it's about being this for someone else. SETI came in, like he said, with a lot of insecurities about pursuing his dream. About, I want to be an online personality. I want to be a streamer, but I'm worried that people will make fun of my brother. I'm scared. I have these things. And as someone who was completely objective at the time, because we'd never met before, I was immediately overwhelmed by his hilarious sense of humor. And I told him, your comedy is your superpower. It doesn't matter. Yes. Just lean into the very uniqueness that makes you you. There's always going to be someone out there who doesn't like what you have to offer. Cool. They don't have to have it. That's fine. They can change the channel. But lean into what you are, because what you are is precisely the thing that's going to make this successful. And each one of our champions, I know I have times on a regular basis where I am insecure about something or confused about how it's going to happen. And it's very easy. It's so much easier to just say, I'm not going to do it, and to sort of disappoint yourself than to say, okay, what would it actually take for me to do this? And is it really as hard as I think it is? And SETI, one of the many great things about SETI is that once the gauntlet was thrown, he just went to town. He said, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to look into how to do this. I'm going to keep doing this. If you're going to be behind me, cheering me on, I'm forgetting my own pronouns. If you're going to be there cheering me on, then I'm going to live up to that bar. I'm going to make sure that I do the best that I can. And now you are ridiculously successful. What are you doing? And it has nothing to do with me, you guys. He gives me so much credit, but it's all him. He's the one who did the hard work. He's the one who creates the content. He's the one who comes up with these amazing ideas. He's the one who has marketed himself. He's the one who created this. All I did was tell you it's possible. And it's possible.
Yeah, but had you not entered into my life, think about this. Think about this possibility. If I didn't meet you and I'm still this little gamer boy, just playing my game, minding my own business, not knowing who Symmetra is, and I don't know who to connect with, I think I'm probably still working 9 to 5. I'm not saying that 9 to 5 is a bad job, but like I probably will not pursue what I'm doing. I always believe that you just need that one person to like nudge you for a minute, because you nudge me. You're like, do it, just do it, just of course you didn't talk like that, but you were giving that.
That's how you talk to yourself after I talk to you.
Yeah, and you got to give yourself credit. Like, of course, Joey is a big factor as well, but I will always maintain, like, without Anjali, there will be no Steady or Not. You coined that name. Please do not sue me or trademark.
Are you kidding me? Name. That was a gift. How can you not, with a name like SETI, how can you not say Steady or Not, here I come? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's so dope.
You see, I started as Green Dumpling, and then, it was such a cute name that I didn't take so seriously, because, it was, I don't think I'm ever going to blow up. And when I want to become, when I want to take my brand more seriously, I'm like, Steady or Not. And who gave me that name? It was you.
And we wrote a song together.
Yeah. And we need an update, because Green Dumpling is dead. We buried her.
Right. We do need an update. I need to hop into the studio with my better half and record that again, because he did the hard lift. He did the heavy lifting on that one. Yes.
But I have to tell you something. Okay. I'm very, very proud of you. I read this book. I mean, to people who are watching this, I will be honest, I read this book way before the book launch, because hey, I got my personal copy signed.
He knows a guy.
Yeah, I got, yes. And everything you said in this book is what the world needs to read, because you are such a wise person. You always give the damn good advice, and you now put it in writing. And people need to read the gospel. Like you
are hilarious.
But as a friend,
yes,
sometimes I gotta spill the tea. All right, everybody needs to know.
Oh, no.
Sometimes Anjali has this little problem as well. She tends to doubt herself, and I need everyone here to remind her that she is. Can I say bad words here?
I mean, you have already, so I don't see why not. Go for it.
She is a motherfucking queen. Okay, we need to remind her that, because sometimes she can, the person that gives the best advice, sometimes they don't take their own advice. But Anjali is amazing.
Well, I think we all have those moments. We definitely all have those moments. This is why you surround yourself with your champions. You surround yourself with people that you admire, with people you want to be more like. I don't have a single friend in my life that I don't look at and I'm like, God, I love this about you, and I want to be more like that. This is a reminder to be more kind, to be more generous, to be more diligent, to be funnier. This is just a reminder to cultivate that part of yourself. I think it's really important to surround yourself with people who show you what is possible, and let the relationships that are causing you to think it's not possible, let them just kind of like dribble away for lack of feeding them. It's not that you shut people out, but you will find you create more and more space in your life for the people that make you expansive, for the people that fun size your life, because that's what fun size is about in this book. It's not about being small. It's not about being a candy bar. It's about, we are all built for amazing, fun, huge, magnificent, wonderful lives. Playing small is not a thing. It's no longer an option. So SETI, you have never played small in the entire time that I've known you. I am so proud of you. I am so grateful to you for being a constant champion. I have to say goodbye to you because we have another guest waiting in the wings, but you know that I'm going to be WhatsApping you in like 20 minutes after we're done with this. So I love you. I love you. I love you. Have the most wonderful day over there in Malaysia. Squeeze Teddy for me. Make sure to give him little scritches under his neck for me.
I will. And congratulations on the book launch, my queen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, you beautiful human. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Oh my God, you guys. Is he not like, when you listen to SETI, I think you understand. I think you all understand why the first time I listened, I even read something he wrote. I was like, oh, come on. Like, the world needs you. The world needs you. You are light and hilarious and funny and kind and enjoy. Like, there's just everything about him is just so fun. I have to look at the list. Donnie, who's next on the magical schedule? Oh, got it. Okay, it's exactly who I think it is. Okay, got it. Got it. That was the voice of God that you guys can't hear. It's the voice in my head. It's lovely. It's like those movies when someone has someone talking in their head. Anyway, I'm going to skip that. To our other guest who is waiting in the wings, I cannot wait for everyone to meet you too, because what I have been for SETI, you have been for me in my entire life for the last 12 years. So hold tight, sorceress, you're coming. In the meantime, our next guest is the co-host and creator of the Chai Break podcast. I just did we had so much fun recording this together. I am going to add her to the chat right now, or to the Zoom right now. Magic is going to be made. Technology is going to allow us to see her beautiful face. And there she is. Hi, Shweta.
Hello. How are
you? You please introduce your gorgeous self to everybody who's on the stream.
Yes. Hello, everyone. This is Shweta Ravi Shankar, and I'm the founder and host of the Chai Break podcast. And we had the privilege and honor of interviewing Anjali for her upcoming book, which is just out today. I'm fun size, and so are you. We have the privilege also to get a signed copy, to read it and talk to her all about the book. I've only known Anjali very recently, but I've heard so much about her via our dear common friend, Deborah Kaplan. And I just have to say, this book is like a warm hug, and a deep chivization, as we call it on the Chai Break podcast. With your
I love this. I don't know how I've never heard the term chivization until we talked. I mean, people always talk about spilling the tea, but chivization, like that's as good as Illuminantes. Like that's something to hold on to. That's tight. Yes. I like it.
Yeah. So, I mean, this book, I feel like every self-help book out there, it's not that. Because it does not come from a place like I know everything and I have my life together, but it's like, let's hold
God knows
hands. I don't. It's like, let's hold hands and go through this roller coaster called life. And, whatever I have gone through, I can share that with you. And here are the tools of use that could help you, that may help you, and you can figure yourself out along this way. And I think that's what resonates with so many of us who've already read it. And for anybody else, just go out there and get the book. I mean, this book is one of them that you have to read. So definitely.
Thank you so much gosh, thank you. That's all very, 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 very kind of you. I love what you and Rima are doing with the Chai Break podcast. Can you tell the gang here what the podcast is about?
So, I mean, the very premise of the Chai Break podcast started off with, Rama and I moved to the United States from India, where we're originally from, about like a decade, and I think Rama about 2 decades ago. But both of us were adults in our 20s. And when we moved here, we were like, oh, you're Indian American, I'm Indian, so maybe we could connect. And quickly we realized that, the Indian American diaspora experience is so different from the true Indian experience, growing up in India.
Totally.
And then we were like, okay, so we're trying to fit in. And then there came a point where we're like, no, we don't check the Indian American box, but, we've always felt that we're not the typical, Indian with the, who grew up there. So we're kind of somewhere in between. So you just thought that our unique vantage point about everything from, of motherhood, feminism, colorism, all our experiences and what we experience as young teens to who we've become a decade ago, because of the wonderful people we met, I met here in New York, and same for Rama as well, that it kind of shaped our, all these experiences shaped our thinking. And we were like, we want to share this. And I remember one of our first couple of episodes released, I'm also a dancer. So in the dancer community, Indian dancer community, I meet a lot of people like us, who've just recently moved from India and are here. And everyone resonated with it. They're like, exactly, yes, I feel that way too. And then we were like, oh, okay, so this is not our experience alone. So, I feel like that's where we formed what we call, in Chai Break, your vibe, your tribe, and just started talking about all these issues. They could be positive ones, they could be negative ones, all the uncomfortable talks even. And that's what we went through in season 1. And season 2, we're basically interviewing a roster of South Asian women from across the globe. And that is how this, interview with Anjali happened. And yeah, and we really hope that people listen to it and,
We had loads of fun. Like,
yes,
this may have started as an interview, but you're stuck with me now because you guys are just like, we had such a good time. And we're going to be seeing each other in New York because I'm going to be doing some signings out there, and we're going to be hanging out in New York too, which is exciting.
Yeah. And you know what? Our episode just came out. It's live, and for everyone to listen, we're on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere you stream podcasts. It's called the Chai Break Podcast. So go ahead and listen to our interview with Anjali and get ready to have lots of fun and laugh a whole lot.
Well, also, is there something, am I allowed to tell them about okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if it was a super secret. I was hoping that it was out in the world because I was depending on that for this stream. So you guys know, for those of you who know me or don't know me, if you've just seen me online, I love giveaways. Like, I love them a little too much. I like every month, every week, I want to give something away because it's just fun. Who doesn't love gifts? Who doesn't love free stuff? Well, one of the extra fun things about our interview together is that these lovely ladies came up with a special giveaway of their own, a little I Am Fun Size Chiversation situation giveaway. Would you tell the gang about what we've got for them? Tell us what we've won here today.
The best part of the giveaway is the name. It says, seriously, fun size giveaway, because we have so many different things as part of the giveaway. So for one, you get a personalized signed copy of the book, I'm Fun Size and So Are You. You also get a fun chai mug from a local South Asian brand called Desi Way. You get a bag of Kolkata Chai & Co.'s Rose Masala Chai.
Okay, can we talk about Rose Masala Chai? Like,
exactly.
That sounds like
it's a game changer. I'm telling you. I'm Indian, coming from India. I've had all kinds of chai, but nothing beats this. They're local in New York. They have a storefront. They have a website. Have to check them out. They're amazing.
You're going to have to remind me to go swing by there when I'm there, because I need that in my life.
Yeah. And then we have this upcycled scrunchie from Tega Collective. They're a sustainable, ethical brand. But it's run by Neha Eleti, who is a sustainability and climate activist. So go yay, South Asian small brands. And then we have this cool piece of jewelry.
Ooh, can you hold that up?
Matching earrings.
Oh, that's so cute. Is that a pendant? That's a pendant?
So it goes on like right here. It's like a little
it's like a choker.
It's a choker. Yeah. And this is by the founder of South Asian Nation on Instagram, Divya, and her brand's called People of Color Wears. So it's made by people of color in India for the community. So go. We can tag them on Instagram, and you can go check them out. And we also, I don't have it right now, but we also have a very cool hair serum by another South Asian brand from Canada called Glow Ritual.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we also, just for your chai, we have some amazing chai-shaped cookies.
Oh,
yeah, by Coco Katsa Kitchen. It's run by Simi Chopra.
Chai-shaped or chai-flavored?
Like chai shaped. So it's shaped like a mug. It's actual chai mug. And she does like little intricate like mehendi designs on it and what have you. And you know what? She actually ships all across the United States. So you can check her out, Coco Casa Kitchen on Instagram. So we have that. And
my goodness,
very fun
there's so much stuff.
Tote bag. Just check out this tote bag. Check out the details here. This is actually Krishna's feet, but the calligraphy is all in Arabic. And this is by my very good friend and designer, Sangeeta Kaushik. Yeah. And it's pretty amazing. Go check her stuff out.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. So now, can we tell the people how they can win, Shweta? I'm going to sound like a cheesy announcer right now.
Yeah, so all of you can go to our Chai Break Podcast Instagram account, which is chai_break_podcast. And we'll have a post up in about 30 minutes. It's going live. This is the first you're hearing of it. We've talked about it. We've done previews, but this is the first you're hearing of it. So go there, follow us, like the post, and follow all the brands so that you'll be supporting other South Asian small business brands. So support them and tag two of your besties who you think should also enter the giveaway.
There it is, you guys. You got all the information, all the news that's fit to print there. So, and they can find that on your Instagram.
Yes.
I will be posting about it as well. When does the giveaway, what is the period of time that we are doing
So
this?
it ends on October 6th.
Okay, so you guys have plenty of time to get on there, to follow all the things, to follow the directions, to pay attention to things that I am terrible at remembering. You have plenty of time to do that. Follow Shweta, follow Chai Break. Listen to their podcast is so much fun. I love what you guys are doing. I have to say goodbye to you for now because we have some lovely people waiting in the wings that I want to bring on here. But thank you so much for the conversation. Thank you so much for doing the giveaway together, because I'm really excited for people to have all of these things and to check out all of these small brands. And again, you guys, when we talk about making sure that people don't feel like they're alone, it's people, it's small charities, it's small businesses. It's not that big businesses aren't great, and they are, and obviously we support them as well. But if you have the chance to help someone live out their dream of having a jewelry business, or having a hair product business, or mugs, or whatever, or the mug cookies, if you have a chance to buy something that you would probably already have in your life anyway, you'd have a mug, you'd have a necklace. If you have a chance to do that and support a small business, why not? Why not have it help both sides? It should be win-win. So I love the fact that you guys are always supporting small business and supporting small brands and POCs and all of that stuff. So I am very excited to find out who wins this. I don't know why I'm doing a shoulder down right now because of it. But yes. Thank you.
Thank you. This was so fun. Bye.
Yes. Take care. Bye. Oh, guys, she's so sweet. And I met her because of one of my dear friends back in New York, Deborah Kaplan, huge shout out to her. Okay, so before we bring on anyone else, I have to shout out someone who is in the chat, and I hope she is still here. Our beautiful, incredibly talented graphic designer, Sandy Krebs, is here on the stream. And I am just going to talk about her without her being able to counter anything that I'm saying. I'm just going to talk about you because you're right here. Would you hand me a copy of the book from over there? If it wasn't for Sandy, this book would be exceedingly boring. Between her and Vivian, who you guys are going to meet later, Vivian is our incredible illustrator who did all these illustrations. But obviously, when these beautiful pieces of art get delivered to you, it all depends on how they appear in the book, on how they're laid out. And I knew when I wrote this book, I wanted it to be a whole experience for someone, especially if you got the actual hard copy of the book. Obviously, the ebook too, because some people, you don't necessarily have the space in your house for books, or maybe you're traveling a lot or whatever. And the audiobook is this whole other experience. We'll talk about that eventually. But Sandy took the dream that I had in my head, and Vivian created the art that was the dream I had in my head. And then Sandy turned this book into just the most, it's so much fun for me to read this. And I wrote it because it's fun because of the feeling of the book. I mean, look at this adorable. Look at how she laid this out. Look at how much fun it is to read this. I keep saying, I hope people don't end up thinking it's a children's book because it's so fun to look at, because it's definitely not a children's book. There's a lot of F-bombs in here. But she just did such a miraculous job. And huge shout out to her for being super clutch, because at the extremely last minute, I discovered I made a major mistake in the dimensions, because apparently math is hard, and it's not really that hard. I just made a stupid mistake. But she came in clutch and did all of this extra work, all of this amazing extra work over the course of Thanksgiving weekend, and just nailed it. I could not be more thankful that Sandy Krebs is in my life, you guys, because without her, this book, like I said, would have been very boring to read. So thank you, Sandy. You are clutch. I mean, remind me, send me an email, because I have to tell you something very exciting via Ninja Bat Signal. Send me an email to remind me that I have something to tell you. All about you, actually. Okay, so let's see. We don't have Sam yet. We do have Kat. Before we jump in, because we are waiting on someone who can only be here, I think, at 12:45. Is that right, Drew?
Yeah.
Let's see if she mentioned it all, if she can My left-hand gal over here, Drew, is helping me out. Did she say if she's coming? She said she's on standby. Oh, great. Tell her to hop in the room. Fantastic. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our next guest, you guys, before she even hops in here. So unfortunately, she won't hear me gushing about her, but, you know, she can hear it on the replay. She's heard it in real life before. So I met this lovely lady in like a class that we were taking, not like a class, in a class that we were taking, a mastermind class that we were taking online. And I feel like she was the greatest find that I walked out of that class with, because not only was she a like-minded individual in terms of how she lives her life and how she wants to do her business, but she has just brought an energy into my life that I can't explain how, I can't even tell you how much it was needed. She wrote a book that I actually talk about in my book. She wrote a book called The Less Effect, which you guys can grab online as well. You can grab the ebook, you can grab the hardcover or whatever. I have a bunch of copies over there because I give it to friends. And it's a very quick read and it's a very easy read, but it's a very heartfelt read. And she talks so much about all of the major changes. Yeah, lunch. She talks so much. There's my right-hand man with lunch. You guys, right hand, left hand. It's awesome. They're so helpful. I love them. My 3D team. We got Donnie, we got Drew, we got Dennis. We're just going to have to, I'm going to have to be Donjali. So Samantha, sorry, I'm getting waylaid. So Samantha Joy wrote The Less Effect. And it is such an easy read, but it will just shift your thinking so quickly. And I tend to be an attractor of clutter, whether in my brain or in this room. Dennis just laughed because he knows he's dealt with me for 1.5 years. He has seen the truth. It's just the way it is. Oh, she's there. Okay, you're here in chat, Sam. Can I get you on the Zoom? And that's where we need you. Enter the waiting room and we will see you there. So I'm just here gushing about you right now. So anyway, Samantha is amazing. She's a wonderful, 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 wonderful human, a beautiful artist in her on her own. And she has now additionally added a new lane into her world, which is coaching fellow authors on being bestsellers, on the publishing process. And she has been an incredible help to me in the process of getting this book up online, all the nitty gritty stuff that you don't think about, because the writing of the book is very, very fun. The publishing of the book at times can be like sticking a fork in your eye if you don't know what you're doing. So Samantha has just been so vital to this process. All right. So now, do we have her? We do not. We have, oh, there she goes. Perfect timing. Kaboom. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, oh, how do I add her? Where is it? Admit. Boom. Da, 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 da. There she is. This is her. You guys, this is the one and only Samantha Joy. This is my girl. And you brought a friend.
I had to. I'm just like everything you were talking about with the charity and everything. It's so close to my heart. This is my little baby rescue. I won't take too much time with her. This is Jules.
Oh, she's so cute. And she and Charlie could get along so well. It's the same size.
Yes. I can't wait to meet Charlie, hopefully.
I know, because Samantha's coming out for some of our book signing events that are happening this week. It's very, very exciting, exciting stuff. So can you please, I mean, I've been talking about how awesome you are, and I don't know how much of it you've heard. No, but it's so true. So as I said, that she has now added to her giant skill set coaching authors and her own publishing company, which she helped me form my publishing company because she was forming hers. So would you tell everybody about just like a short idea of what The Less Effect is about, and then how it led to you in this new lane?
Yes. If I could tie it all together, it all comes down to one central theme, which is identity. The short spiel about that, which it's so hard to do, a shortened version, but it really is. If any of you have been through any healing or personal development journey, which I imagine that you have been, or we're all on it probably still right now, it's really there's this buzzword around mindset, and it's so important. But if you don't know who you are and you're operating from an identity that was almost handed to you through conditioning, whether it was just cultural or societal or whatever it is, you're living in someone else's identity, then you can try to shift your mindset all you want, but nothing's really going to change. You might do the 30-day challenge, you might crush it, And then after that, you go back and revert back to the old you.
Ye old 30-day challenge. Am I right, everyone? At the beginning of the pandemic, it was the 30-day this and the 30-day that, and you were like, stop making me do things in 30 days. Sorry.
No, and it's true. It's true. So through the shortened version, through my own journey of discovering that, just many failures of like, why can't I fix my mind? Like, I'm broken, right? And going through that. And then on the other end, doing a lot of consulting and life coaching, and now inevitably author coaching, which really is, you guys, identity coaching. It's helping people tell their stories. And now we're here where the less effect is really the premise of, if I could sum it up, it's that what I've discovered through my own experience and, numerous clients is that the solution to our problems is not found in continuously adding, it's found in releasing and shedding and being who you are. That's why I love your book, Anjali, because it is so about living just fully, authentically expressing all of who we are, leaning into our gifts. And that is when the most amazing people come into our lives, right? That's how I think we attracted each other, was really being ready to be who we are and express that and celebrate that and be around other people. Like I'm seeing all these amazing guests you're having, just celebrating their own gifts. And then, we get to come together in that way versus, the person we think we have to be and all the pressures and the energy drain that comes with that. We can't attract abundance or love or health or any of those things living in an identity that isn't ours. So that was longer, but
that's very, very clear. And I love that you're able to put it that way. And another thing that I love about how you come to it is it's very different. Like you said, there are all these buzzwords out there that once something becomes a buzzword, you sort of feel like it loses its power. I'm so sick of manifesting and abundance, and even self-care now has made me want to puke in my mouth occasionally because people use it to mean so many things right now, even though it's true. But identity, people forget that I forget all the time, until I was around people who allowed me to figure out who I was. And this happened like way into adulthood. Once I had finally peeled away or just allowed to kind of disappear the people in my life who wanted to tell me who I was. Yes. And instead I met all of the people who were just holding space for me to figure it out, or holding space for me to be whatever the best version of me was, for better or for worse. Once you start finding those people, you realize you do have less space for the stuff that doesn't support the person that you are. Absolutely. So that less effect is it's so clear to me in relationships, because the less people you surround yourself with that are draining or that are taking you down, the more energy you have to give to the world, the more you have to give to yourself. I can certainly tell you, like one of the most challenging relationships I was in, I remember thinking, wow, if I spent like half of the time I spend worrying about this person and what they think of me, if I spent half of that energy on like a group of people, I could change the world. Yes. And that it's so clear in your book, and you tell some very, very, very personal stories too, which I appreciate too. You're very open and vulnerable and giving with that book. And like I said, you guys, it's a super easy read. Yeah. Like it's not some, deep dark, these are 30 steps that you have to take, and you have to do this thing every day, and you have to take a cold shower for 30 seconds. And you have to do all these things. No, it's not that. It's a very easy to consume. And it made me feel lighter when I read it. It really did. And that's why I talk about it in my book, because I think it's a very easy, like, I didn't think about it that way. And then all of a sudden your life changes because you've just had that moment.
Well, to your point, Anjali, it's like, it's hard to be somebody else. It is actually easier to be ourselves. There's fear encasing that idea when you bring consciousness to it of like, well, if I do the thing that I really want to do, what will everyone think? Like life just flows and it's easier. Getting there, not so easy sometimes, but then you really attract amazing people who think the same way. And I love what you said, really just encourage you to be yourself because they understand what it means to be themselves. And life feels lighter. And so my whole thing, just to touch on quickly, vulnerable storytelling, that is a huge path to healing, and why I even started when I published my book. And then I was going through all this identity coaching with clients and just going through that and doing my best to embody that myself. I really realized there's something here to being vulnerable. There's so much connection there for us. There's so much opposite of what we think will happen. The fear goes away because everyone's connecting with you mostly, and they are resonating with you, and you attract real people, not the people trying to keep up appearances, but real people going through real stuff that really do want to improve and be more themselves. So it was such a amazing journey to get here. And then now working with authors, you know, and even just being with you on your journey, Anjali, it was just so amazing because you just become more and more of who
and your
you are.
level of patience, like you have the patience of Joe, because I lost my mind many times during this whole thing.
You're
and thankfully, thankfully you had been through it. And I think the personal work that you have done, combined with all that you have learned as an author and now a publishing coach and now a publisher, all of the things that you have learned, you were able to bring those in such a calming way. Even if I was like, oh, I got to get off this meeting because 17 people are blowing me up, I'm so sorry, bye. You always were a calming effect on me.
And that is the thing, is having people around us that can hold space, because, you know, who knows, in our journey, Anjali, we're like, you'll hold that space for me. And like, you just never know, but understanding that you did still have the divine trust that you get there, and look at how successful your book has been. It's changing lives. It's giving people, this is what I say about her book, you guys, it's like, it gives people permission to be who they are. And that's when life really starts for everyone, is just when you can love every piece of yourself. And I just love, I loved your energy. Like, even when it was a little frazzled, it was in an effort to get to this incredible place, and it was full of passion. And you know, we did it. You're here. You did such an amazing
job. And can I brag a little bit about Samantha and her sorcery? Because of Sam, in our first week of launching the ebook, we hit not one, not two, not three, but #1 on 8 lists, 8 categories on Amazon. And that was largely because of the way that she helped me figure out how to share this book with the world in the most effective way possible. And so thanks to her, it got in a lot of people's hands, so many people's hands, or at least in their gadgets, because it was only on ebook at that point. But the idea, the idea of getting into people's hands, it was really, really, it's just been such a joy. It's such a joy being your friend, and it's such a joy getting to work with you. And since we both work so much, and it's very rare that I actually get to hang out with people who I'm not working with, I'm very grateful for the fact that my dear friend is also someone that I work with. That's a really lovely, lovely thing. And I can't wait to see you.
I know. The minute she mentioned the parties, I'm like, booked and booked. I am there. So I can't wait to see you and squeeze you and celebrate you some more. Thank you so much for having me. This was such a joy.
Oh my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. So everybody, she's on Instagram at I am Samantha Joy. You can look up The Less Effect. You can, your website is SamanthaJoy.com.
Yeah, it's under construction, but you can go there. You can also just, if you pop into the link in my Instagram, everything is there for you.
Yeah.
Anything you could imagine.
And obviously she's not going to blow you up with a gazillion emails that are clutter, because it's The Less Effect. See what I did there? Now her emails are awesome. If you like my emails, you will really like her emails. They're really, really, really lovely. Sam, I can't wait to see you. I'm going to let you go because we have a special guest from overseas popping into the room next. And I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye everybody. Thank you.
Oh, you guys, so many cool people. I just saw in the chat, Raptor Pipe has to go. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for being here for this. I love this stuff. I love sharing this stuff with new people. And I love sharing new people with new people, because I know you guys know a lot of my friends who are in cast with me, whether they're in Overwatch or they're in Apex or in Ms. Marvel. You guys know those folks. But these are people whose voices you may not have heard of. And these are people who you need to know in the world. So thank you, Raf. Thank you for being here. Thank all of you for being here. Huge shout out right now to Beam Toaster, to Finn, who is killing it by putting all of these links up there and putting all of these posts up there. Thank you, Finn, for using your superpower. I always tell Finn his superpower is his enthusiasm, and he is just a wonderful person to know. So he also runs the Bemaniacs Discord, although we will continue to have an argument about how it's pronounced. It's Bemaniacs. It's Bemaniacs. All righty. So you guys, this is a special super guest that we have, and she is coming to us from the United Kingdom. And this book wouldn't have happened without her. It would have just been words. instead of these beautiful illustrations, which are by the one and only Vivian Truong, who I'm going to bring into this. Dennis just gave us a fist. Yes, power to Vivian. We're going to do it. We're going to admit her into this room. It's very exciting. There we go. There she is.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. I'm recovered.
Oh, poor thing had COVID last week, and boy, it was rough. It was a rough go for you, huh?
Yeah, it was my first time having COVID. And first day, I was like, oh, it's fine. I'm fine. I can still work. Second day, oh my God, I felt like I was dying.
Yeah. By the way, Sandy just called you out in the chat. Sandy is here, and I know you two haven't ever officially met, but you're in the same place. So she's at least there on the chat. She's excited to see you. I'm excited to see her. I'm excited to see you. We're all very excited. So you are in London right now, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
All right. So you guys, in addition to being the incredible illustrator who brought Charlie's antics and mine to life, I mean, if you need to see the picture of Charlie as a bard with a lute. It's something that you need to see, everyone, and she did it. That's hers. In addition to that, she is also the illustrator of it's a series, right? It's a trilogy that's coming through of City of Dragons, which won an award for Best Graphic Novel of 2021. She is also in the process of putting out an undisclosed cookbook that I'm very excited to be making things from. And tell us all what else you're working on right now.
So there's that. I'm also working on another graphic novel series. It's really good for people who are fans of like action manga, things like the classics like Naruto, Bleach, etc. So this one it's all related to cooking as well. It's called Cooking with Monsters. So literally, what if your ingredients were the monsters that you fight? Yeah,
wow,
so there's
that's like a meta question. That's like a seriously what if you were ingesting? What if your ingredients were the monsters you fight?
Yeah,
we're talking about psychological. Right?
It's probably more like if you wanted to eat Pokemon, it's kind of like that.
Okay, different, totally different. Of course, I go to the philosophical. Look at the book I wrote. I love that. But you're like, it's not that deep, Anjali. It's fun. It's fun. This is fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's another series I'm working on. Yeah, but for now, so I'm working on City of Dragons 2, and so that. And also that big series. So, yeah.
Amazing. So when Vivian and I met in person for the first, well, first of all, Vivian and I met because of the very Fan Art Friday that was the kickoff for the I Am Fun Size series, because she leapt to the call. I've never met someone who can whip up art as fast as Vivian. I literally had just mentioned her once on Twitter, and within 30 seconds, there was a drawing of Symmetra in the snow holding Charlie, and both of them were wearing little parkas. And she just wrote, "You rang?" I'm like, are you kidding me? That's 30 seconds. How did you do that? So we met through that. And as soon as I knew I was writing this book, I knew that she was the one that I desperately wanted to be the illustrator for the book. When we had met in person, though, a few years earlier, we had a great conversation, and we threw on the video so that we threw up the camera so that we could have it on I Am Fun Size. It was a great conversation about artist's block, which I think I think applies kind of to everyone, because in one way or another, you are the artist creating your life. You're the creator of your life. And when you have to think creatively and you just can't you seem stuck, what do you do? Like, what are different ways you bust through your artist block? And I love you talking about the very specific practical things that you do in order to get past artist block, whether as an illustrator or as an artist, the gestalt of being an artist. Can you share some of that with everyone?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things I do when I'm feeling really blocked or something like just not going right in my drawing. So the most simple thing you can do is get up, take a walk, just have a think, take a break, But, if that doesn't work, for me, it helps to actually just find inspiration around you as well. you can like pick up like a book that you have. Like I have like a lot of like art books and like comic books, and I just like find some inspirations, like what other artists, like, how they're tackling some problems. Like you don't even have to like find like people who do similar things to you. Like it can become completely like wildly different, and you can just kind of see like how they kind of break down like their processes, and then you kind of, that's how you can kind of like step back from whatever you're feeling with your like art. And just like actually just try to like simplify and try to relax, you know. So that's
I love so much the practice of not just going to other artists to see how they deal with it, but going to other artists to just be like, let me see what it's like if I try doing it in their style.
Exactly.
Let me just see what it's like if I try writing something, if I try writing something in the style of Shakespeare, or if I try writing, if I can't help you if you're trying to write, that's a whole other thing. I don't know here. But you know what I mean? Like, I love the idea that like just mixing up your own style, figuring out what other things that you can throw into the milkshake to kind of like shake things up a little bit. I think that's a really, really, really cool thing. And I do think that the value of a good walk is highly underestimated.
Yeah, definitely.
Like get out and get some fresh air is a big thing.
Yeah.
So tell me, is there anything else that you want to share about your process of doing these? Because also Vivian, I should mention to you guys, Vivian came on board for the Kickstarter as well. And I had originally been like, can you just do a couple of illustrations? And it turned into like 900. So if it wasn't for Vivian, not only would the book not have happened, but the whole Kickstarter would not have been as glorious as it was. I don't know if any of you have, for those of you who haven't visited the Kickstarter page, just go there to take a look. It's so adorable. It's so cute. She drew a million things for it. Now I use these illustrations everywhere. I use them in my emails. I use them on they're just fantastic things. What was the process like for you? Now that we're done, I can ask you this question. What was the process like for you illustrating the book?
Well, I mean, because I come from an animation background, I think I'm quite used to learning how to create concepts. And, when you have an assignment and it'll be like, draw Anjali fishing, something like that. Like there's so many different ways you can like tackle it. So how I break it down, like, you think about, okay, who is this character? Like what kind of personality does she have? Is Anjali going to be like really frustrated if she's fishing, or is she going to be like really happy, like waving it around, things like that? So there's different ways you can like break down like the illustration that you're trying to do, like just by trying to think about like the character and what kind of like, and then there's also what kind of purpose this is for as well. Like do you want to spend your whole like 2 days or something doing like this fabulous like full painted illustration or something, or is it just going to be used like an asset, so you can just like make it simpler, things like that. So that's just kind of like how I weigh like how much not effort, but like how much like detail, how many details like I want to put into it,
Right. I mean, I think she's sort of I just want to point out to everyone, I think she's underplaying the amount that she put in, like the amount of creativity that she brought to the table. Because, for example, there's an illustration in there where I'm like, can you just show Charlie and I drinking tea? And all of a sudden, Charlie and I are at like high tea, like Alice in Wonderland, and it's gorgeous and detailed, and there's all this stuff. And that came from your brain. That came from your concept, like you said. What would it be like if this is happening? And the way you've drawn Charlie, it's just a giant happy maker. Rick and I all the time, we're at home being like, can you believe how adorable these things are? They're just so cute. I have a feeling that we're going to be printing out a lot of your illustrations and putting them up in the house because they're really cute.
Oh, good. I'm glad to see that you do.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Can you tell people where they can find you, where they can check out your art?
Yes. So you can look up my handle, Superisu. That's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr. If you want to get my book, just smack my face.
Yes, do it. Don't smack yourself in the face with your book, but definitely the book is so good. It's so cute.
My graphic novel, I'm just gonna open it up if I can. Yeah. Yeah. This is available on Amazon, should be available at your local store as well, local bookstores. I recommend getting it from like local comic book shops or anything as well, just to support local businesses. Otherwise, it's kind of everywhere. You can get it anywhere.
Well, thank you so much for calling in from afar. I know you are very busy and you are still recovering from the Rona. So thank you so much for being here. Nice. Check her out online, you guys. Follow her in all of the places. She's really just, as you can tell, it's not just that she's extremely talented. She's just extremely sweet on top of that. And this is the kind of person you want to surround yourself with. You want to surround yourself with fun, creative people who are fun to be around, even when they are dealing with COVID. So feel better. Have a wonderful night over there. Absolutely. And I will talk with you very soon.
All right, see you. Bye. Thank you.
You guys. So I just realized that I'm supposed to actually be talking a little bit about, where you can get this book. And I keep forgetting that that's kind of something you should know. So here's where we are at this point. On Amazon, you can grab the ebook. It's a great place to grab that through Kindle. Remember, you do not need an actual Kindle to get the book. You can download the Kindle app on any one of your gadgets, on your laptop, on your computer, on your phone, on your iPad, I'm sure you could do it on your watch. I don't know how people would read that, but I'm sure that's possible. So you can grab that in all formats there. And then to grab the paperback, for those of you who have been around when I've done any of my live streams with Streamily for autographing things, Streamily right now are being incredibly lovely and allowing me to host the book there. So if you go to the website Streamily, that's STREAMILY, streamily.com/my name, Anjali Bhimani. If you go to that page, you will see, in addition to all the prints and other things that I sign and pops and all that, right up top, you will see two options to grab the book. Option number one is an unsigned version that you can grab there. And option number two is a signed version, which you can only get through Streamily right now. Or if you come to one of my book signings, I'm having either in LA or New York coming up soon. Okay, we have a surprise guest that's flying in. We have a rocket queen who is flying in because justice reigns from above. And she is going to say it for us in a much cooler way. Yes, there it is. I just said Jen Cole reigns from above. Hello.
Perfect. Hi, how's it going over there?
It is going fantastically well. It is beautiful where you are. Where in New York are you?
Gorgeous where I am. Okay, you know what? It's better for me to go sideways. Do you like this better?
Yeah, I mean, you look incredible either way. Landscape, portrait, whatever.
I don't know if landscape, portrait. I've got Robbie here.
Wait a second. Is that Emmy nominee Rob Siegel? I think it is.
Is that Emmy nominee Rob Siegel? It is. That would be the very one. That would be him.
I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind me calling you that for the rest of
I think she said she hopes that you don't mind her calling you that for the rest of. You know what? We're outside, so I've got the headphones in. It is Rosh Hashanah. It is Jewish New Year's, and I brought you guys with me, Anj, because I thought that you would love this. There is a thing that you do on the first day of Rosh Hashanah called tashlich, which is where you throw your sins into the water. And so you bring bread with you and you go to the water. So we're at the East River right now and we brought our sins with us. And I thought that everybody in your YouTube/Zoom feed would want to come throw out sins to bring in the new year because it is the beginning of 5783. And I thought that you would love this. I thought it was very appropriate.
That is
in line with the book.
So very cool. And I love the fact that it's bread because some people consider carbs a sin. So it works out quite well.
Exactly. So the sin of eating too many carbohydrates, we can.
I hope that wasn't sacrilege what I just said.
Absolutely.
I love this. So everyone, we're going to get a little treat here. Let's do this together.
I love this.
All right. So at the moment, just think of, as they are doing that, you guys go ahead and do that and think of something that you just want to let go of from this last year, whether it's a regret, whether it's a thing you wish you did better, whether it's something that you feel a little guilty about doing because it may or may not have been the right thing to do, whatever it is that you have done, take this moment to acknowledge it and to release it.
Acknowledge it and be rid of it, and into the water it goes and it is gone, and onto the next year and onto being fun-sized and onto your next thing, onto your next chapter. So that's it's a beautiful ritual. I know. I thought it was very good for your crew. So, okay, so we're throwing them out, guys. Of course. Anj, you have anything you want to name, or you want to keep it secret? Does everyone want to close their eyes and keep it secret? What do we want to do?
I'm not going to name it, but I'm going to hold it tight in my head because it's definitely something I could let go of.
Love it. Okay, wait. This first handful is for too many carbs. Too many carbs.
Okay. Too many carbs is 100% on
there. Those were gone. Okay. Now the rest of them, everybody, if you want to name them, you name them. If you don't want to name them, then just think them to yourself. I'm going to just start ripping off pieces for everybody. I'm thinking of all of you. I'm carrying. Look at this. This is a very Jesus-like moment. I'm carrying all your sins. I'm throwing them into the water. This is very okay. Here we go. Hold on. Here we go. What? Have you got anything? No, everyone is thinking of things. This is great. How has the stream been going? Has it been going great?
It's going so great. And I love this. This is such a treat, what you are doing.
I love you. Very cool. I love you. I wanted to celebrate holiday with you. I was so excited I get to see you here. This is so nice. Okay.
Special to share this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's a great, this is like my favorite thing about Rosh Hashanah is doing this. This is like a great ritual. So, okay, guys, I've got a fistful of stuff that we are throwing out. So everybody take your moment, think to yourself, what is it that we're throwing out, that we're getting rid of? What is the baggage we are not bringing into the next year? The guilt, any of it? Okay. I'm ready. Here we go. Gone.
Yes.
Gone. It's in the
water.
Gone
into the East River.
Gone. Done. Done. Wait, and there's a flurry of birds that just went by too. So you see, it was meant. This is crazy. There's like a crazy flurry of birds that just went by. It was amazing. Jen, wait, they're everywhere. Look at this.
You are so extraordinary. You guys, if you haven't seen Jen's episode of I Am Fun Size, it is. I think at this point it is my favorite guest episode that we have had, and it was on the very first day we met, and she dropped some wisdom that I have it's in the book. It's just like, she's just absolutely she's one of the coolest people I know, one of the best friends, one of the kindest humans. Quite often I find myself saying, what would Jen do? Like, she's just a magnificent human being. She's not just our rocket queen from Overwatch. She's a very, 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 very special human, and you should all follow her and listen to her and follow her streams and all of the fun stuff.
I love you. The feeling is so mutual, my Anj. The feeling is so freaking mutual. You are such an inspiration. You are so go that you have followed your own path and have built your own empire and are doing this incredible thing, and all of it with the intent of helping people. I mean, that's part of what's so incredible. You're such an inspiration. You're crushing it. So I'm just very proud of you.
Thank you so much.
I'm very proud of you. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, thank you. You and Rob and Mickey have a wonderful rest of your Rosh Hashanah. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week in New York. I love you.
I love you so much. Sending love to everybody, the Los Angeles, all the gang, all the Anjali lovers. This is so great. Guys, I know Donnie is there with you. I don't know if Finn is there
Donnie's right here. She says she loves you.
Donnie, love you and miss you. And I saw Vivian is over there too. So I'm sending love to Vivian as well. Okay. I heard Seti was around. Love to Seti. I love everybody. Oh my God. So much love to you guys. Happy New Year. Shana Tova. Here we go.
Shana Tova. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, you guys. Jen is like a giant injection of energy every time either you hang out with her or you talk with her. She says, I'm inspiring. I don't know how she gets done as much as she does in one day, and is a mom. Like, she's an extraordinary human being. Does anyone have the schedule list in front of them? Anyone? Bueller? Donnie, do you have it by any chance? Excellent. Oh my God, you guys. Okay, cool. I'm so excited about this. I hope she's actually there. I'm sure she is, because she is always there for me. And I mean this. I don't know if she's hearing this right now, but I'm going to wait to say this until she's on stream. So I would like to introduce you all to a person that I refer to as my sorceress, and I will explain to you why when she is in the room. Here comes Cat Stone. Who, oh God, look at her beautiful face. Okay, cannot wait. I can't wait. Are you there? Do we have you?
I am here.
There she is.
I'm here.
I love your very evolved and meditative.
Oh, I am an energy healer, dear.
That's right. She you guys. Okay, so Kathleen's official title is Master Energy Practitioner, but really she is, I call her my sorceress. I also call her one of my best friends in the world. And I have said this to her, and I say it to people all the time, and I will never stop saying it. If it were not for Kathleen, I would not be here. And I don't just mean I would not be here on the planet because I was going through a very dark time when I met her, but I mean, I would not be on this, I would be somewhere, but I would not be here in this life that I love so much, surrounded by so much love. And she was so instrumental to me doing what I call head from ass extraction, like just figuring out what good there was in the world and tapping into that part of me that really knew that the world is a beautiful place and it's not to be scared of, and not to be scared of being everything that you are. And she is also, I know some people think of like energy work as woo woo or whatever, but I tell you, Kathleen has her feet on the ground because she understands that all these people who are talking about law of attraction, action is the biggest part of law of attraction. Screw everything else. The action part is huge. So, Kathleen.
Hello, my love.
Yes. Would you tell the people, my goodness, I mean, there's so many things to ask you. You have the book, right?
Maybe.
Okay, so she has the book in her hands.
Can I just tell you that the other day, I'm like a grandma. I'm going around, I either have the book or I'm going around going, yes, I'll check out with that credit card. Do you play Overwatch? Do you know? I'm like asking all these people. And then the thing is, the other day I was in a makeup store, won't say which one. I was in a makeup store and I just happened to mention, and the girl goes like this. You mean Anjali Bhamani? Because I said, do you play Overwatch or Apex? And she goes, yes, I love Symmetra. I said, oh. And she goes, do you know Anjali? And I said, yes, and I'm going to be on this. You should do this. And I kid you not, in the middle of the store, she screamed, I just knew this book was going to change my life. Oh. And I'm like, okay, that's really sweet. And then she opens her phone and you can see it in her cart. So wow. we were busy like crying and laughing, and she's like, please don't take my picture. So I didn't, but she hooked us up together on Instagram right away. So yes, I do have the book.
Wow. Would you do me a favor and if she is so open to this, connect us via email or DM or whatever magical.
I already told her to. So yeah. And okay, she's going to let you know that the crazy lady came in. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I love your kind of crazy. You're the right kind of crazy, though.
Yes, I am.
You know, I know I'm crazy, but I feel like, thank God Rick thinks so too, that I'm kind of the right kind of crazy. Sometimes not, but sometimes, most of the time. So everything that is in this book, I'm such a stickler for giving credit to people when I remember
yes, you are.
Things. But I have to tell you all very, very honestly that Kathleen has been such an important part of me becoming me, of me being the me that I wanted to be all these years, that it's sometimes very hard for me to peel apart what was something that I thought of and what was something that Kathleen guided me towards. And one of the many things that I love about how you practice coaching or energy work or anything else is that you like me when I was personal training, your goal is to become obsolete in someone's life, not for them to check out on you completely, but you want people to fly. You want to teach people how to do these things for themselves, whatever those things are.
Absolutely.
She's always saying in our sessions together, you need to find the words that work for you. These are the words that work for me. You need to find what works for you.
Yes.
What's so incredibly cool about that you have given me and that I'm trying to do as well in I Am Fun Size is that once you realize that you can figure out things for yourself, once you're given that permission, you feel very empowered. Yeah. It's a very empowering thing when you realize, oh gosh, I'm responsible for my own happiness, but oh my gosh, I'm responsible for my own happiness. I can figure this out.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Can you tell the folks at home about your accident and how you came to change your own life? And this is one of the many reasons she's a sorceress.
A little, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, so several decades ago, when I was about 27 years old, So I don't understand the math. You were talking about mathing. I'm only 32. So how that, but anyway.
It's weird, right? How we managed to, I'm stuck there too.
Anyway. Always 32, but yeah. So it was the one day in my life when I was wearing flats and I was walking because I was a New York City fashion exec. And so I always wore 4-inch heels and I was running and whatnot, but I was paying attention to what, yes, you constantly, yeah. But I was paying attention to something and I slipped on some coffee. And then what actually happened, I've always threatened to make up a story about saving a small busload of children. But what happened was I saw the floor coming. And so I pulled my head back at the moment of impact. And I ruptured C5, 6, and 7. And so what happened from there was 2 months of agony, trying to figure out what was going on. And I woke up the morning before my brother's wedding. I had flown to Georgia. They were getting married in Atlanta. And it was the plane ride, the pressure and the constriction and the expansion that finally ruptured all the discs. So I woke up that morning completely paralyzed from the neck down. And the interesting thing was I didn't understand because I was in so much pain and really you're in shock when an injury happens like that. But my brother introduced me to his chiropractor who was in the process of learning Reiki. So she got me up and walking and then she followed me around the wedding. She's like, I have to touch you. I'm like, what? Who are, But because I didn't know anything about alternative medicine, I went back to New York, suffered terribly, went to every doctor known to man. And then I met this amazing neurological surgeon who at that point, he was the chief of the sports department for the Hospital of Joint Diseases. This guy knows his stuff. And he actually told me at that point in history, he said, we can't do anything for you. And I feel so strongly about you not having surgery. I will not release your records to anyone. And I was like, whoa. And then he said to me, and we've had conversations, recently even because I wanted to wait until I knew for sure. He said, go find something that gives you some relief. I don't know what that might be. But he gave me permission because a lot of the problems we have in life, we don't know we have permission to resolve them.
Yes.
And at that point in history, I'm telling you that prevailing wisdom was you cannot heal nerves. Well, medical prevailing wisdom has now changed. Now they know how to heal some nerves and so forth. But literally, and this is my favorite part of the whole story, I went to the last doctor because it was a workman's comp thing. So I had to see doctors periodically. And this one doctor said to me, okay, so this injury is going to progress and you're going to be paralyzed. Da, 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 da. He never even said my name. He never looked up. And I was sitting there in all my 27-year-old dancing queenness, because I was. And I literally looked at him and I go, how would I go dancing? And at that point, he got up and he came over and he was trying to be compassionate. And I said, I don't think you're for me. Don't ask me why. Now, from that point forward, I spent 10 years suffering. I was able to walk. I couldn't sit long enough to go to a movie. I couldn't carry a purse. There was no Birka bag for me. There was no tote bag. And, so that's half the New York experience, right? But, I was in constant pain. And then I'm a cheap date, so I couldn't take the painkillers. It was not fair. So that was the injury.
And then how did you discover how'd you find your way out?
Well, I'm doing this to show.
Oh yeah,
I can't ski, but I can show you my ski statue.
Yeah. There's so much to this.
So
story.
fast forward to 10 years ago when I started.
Well, yes, if you like to that part, because I really want people to understand that finding what works for you is the thing.
Well, that's the thing, and so I actually tripped over it because I had to give up my fashion career. And when I say I have to give up my fashion career, that was huge. I had worked my whole life for this career. I had been sewing since I was 4 years old. Every doll that came into the house, the clothes came off. The doll went over here and I looked at the clothes. And I had a corner office. I traveled to Europe. I went to fashion shows. I knew celebrities through this. It was everything. My whole life was over. And so I hired a coach, a business coach, to kind of help me figure out, what do you do with your life when your entire dream is over and you're not even 30? Well, at that point I was like 35, 37. So anyway, she called me one day and she said she was perpetually happy, this Texan, Southern girl. And she said that she was learning this new thing called EFT, and would I let her use me as a test case? And I was like, yeah, sure, if you don't charge me, because when you have an injury, everything costs. You have to pay for special pillows or special whatever. I was broke. Plus, I had more medical bills, even though it was a workman's comp case. I had more medical bills than 2 years of my salary. So it was a bad moment. Yeah. So here we are doing EFT. Now, what's EFT, right? EFT is emotional freedom techniques. It's a tapping on your meridians technique. And it was created by a man named Gary Craig. He wanted to help service personnel release and heal from PTSD. As he was learning and formulating this process, one day he realized that people were actually releasing physical symptoms as they were releasing the emotional ones. So we just tripped over it. About 2 months of tapping. We didn't keep track of what we were doing because nobody thought I was going to not be paralyzed. And we had cleared enough that all of a sudden one day, and I'll never forget it, there was a loud pop. And she was across the country. She was in California at this point or something. She heard it on her side, not through the phone. We heard this something. And then she said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Don't breathe," because it was the first time in 10 years that I was not in pain. And I knew that I could move, but I was too scared to move. So the next 4 months were releasing the fear. It's going to come back. This isn't real, all of that. And that was over 20 years ago.
And now she's
I'll be fine.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. And I will say this, like, I'm not a doctor. I just play them on TV. I say that in the book. None of this is medical advice. None of this is advice, period. This is opinions. So, take what works for you and not take the rest. But I will say what has been really surprising to me, like a surprising benefit of doing this work with you, which is not just EFT, but all of it about releasing the things, some of the things we don't even realize we're holding on to, is that I became a better actor. And the reason was, and I now look back at this, is that I was so depressed for so many years. And I was trying so hard to not have these emotions or not have them come out when I was in public, when I was in class, wherever, that when it came to a moment where I needed to access those emotions artistically, I couldn't do it. I couldn't shut off that shield because I felt like in my day-to-day life, if I let myself cry, I'm never going to stop. And there were moments like that, when you have that uncontrollable sobbing that you don't know where it's coming from. But for me, it was more on the reg than it needs to be. And once I started finding ways that worked for me, my own sort of version of what you were teaching me, which you encourage all of your clients to do, is find your version. Once I started finding that power, having the knowing that your emotions are not going to take you over, knowing that you can release anything, you can handle anything. You can handle any emotion. The emotion is not the truth, it's the emotion. Once I realized that, all of a sudden, it was fun to play. It was fun to play with the entire palette of our emotions. It was fun to go to explore places. There's a section in the book where I talk about, I'm just going to lean into this dark moment and see what I need to learn real quick. And the only reason I could do that is because I knew I'd be able to find my way back.
Yeah.
And for me, that's been a huge game changer. I would talk to you for another hour, but we have our next guest waiting here, and I want to make sure to bring her on. Can we tell the people where they can find you? Give the people what they want, Kathleen.
We can. Can I just take 2 seconds? It's in the very beginning, when I started with this kind of energy work, we didn't know what we were doing, and we had no confirmation. And like Anjali said, we're not giving medical advice. But now we have reams of clinical studies that prove that we can change not just our physical selves, which that's kind of cool, but to be able to release and change what's going on in our hypothalamus and to change our patterns and whatnot. So while it might sound woo-woo, there's scientific backing to this. And the case is that when we change ourselves by releasing, we actually become, I love everything that everybody's been saying. We become more and more and more of ourselves. Yeah. And it's so much fun to play. So I put up for you, don't squeal too loud. So I put up my new website for you. It's
you guys, this is like 19 years in the making. I'm so excited.
Yeah, before in the beginning, when I went to say, well, I used to be paralyzed, and I do energy work, that was so weird that, people didn't want to hear that. So now that's on there on the website and all the background. It's about it. There's still some under construction. It's really going to go live next month, but that's always with websites. And then maybe we could do some giveaways and whatnot. So the website.
I love that.
I know, I'm so excited. I was thinking maybe we could do some oils. We could do some classes. Like we're going to have fun.
We are going to have fun.
So the website is www.inlivingharmony.com. Why in living harmony? Because balance is bullshit. We have to learn how to deal with all the areas, and then it's In Living Harmony on Instagram, and you'll be able to find me from there.
I love you so much because balance is bullshit. Balance is boring. Nobody can achieve a balanced seesaw is not going anywhere. We have to but making everything work in sync.
We're spending so much energy trying to be balanced. I'd rather have an epic life.
Right? I want to slide into home. That's what I want to do. Like, yeah. All right. I love you. I'm probably going to talk to you in like half an hour.
I'll see you next week.
I'll see you. Oh yeah. Good person. Oh, sorry, guys. That was a very long wheel. I love you. Bye.
I love you. Thank you for having me on. God bless.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, everybody. Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, you guys. Okay, I'm not kidding. Like this lady has been here for me through some of the darkest moments, and it's one thing to have someone who pulls you out of a valley or pulls you out of a cave. It's a whole other thing to someone who says, here's a couple of different flashlights. You figure out which one you want to use. I'm just going to stand here and help you. It's a whole different thing to give someone the power to do that, to give someone the agency. And like she said, to give someone the permission, which is what, again, I'm trying I wanted so much to do in this book is give us permission to be messy and to figure it out ourselves. Because if we don't have permission to fail while we're trying for something, it's very hard to try. If we don't have permission to be messy, it's very hard to create in our lives. And I hope that everybody who's reading the book is feeling that permission. All right. Every time I know I keep saying, oh my God, we have a very special guest, but every one of these guests is very, very special. So we have spoken to our illustrator, Vivian. I have told you all about Sandy, our glorious graphic designer. And now for the gal who helped me once I had written the draft, the first draft of the book. She helped me put together the entire structure, helped me just like figure out, she helped me dig the archaeological artifact out that was this book. And I'm so grateful to her. Here she comes as we add to the Zoom. This is Lauren Terrell, and there she is coming to us from Georgia. Hello. Hi. I don't know why I almost said Jetlanta, because that's not a place. That's from Georgia. Hi, Lauren. Oh, it's so good to see you. It's so good to be celebrating this book and get to celebrate it with you, and to know I'm going to get to celebrate it with you next week, which is ridiculously awesome. I've been telling everyone, like, I know I keep saying this book would not have happened without so-and-so and without so-and-so. It literally would have been a completely different book without Lauren, because she's the one who really helped me uncover how I wanted to put together all of these stories. I had written everything, but she helped me. She, as an incredible editor, went through, and a lot of people think that an editor is just the person who, proofreads, or the person who cuts things or whatever. Lauren helped me find that through line. And when you're really close to something, it's really hard to see it. Once you helped me find that, I was like, oh, of course, it's right there. How did I not see this? And I feel like that's the work of a really, 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 really good editor. And
thank you. There are lots of different types of editors. I was lucky enough to step in at the the very beginning of the publishing process. You had been working on this for a long time, but But I hadn't actually been working on it for a long time, because it took me 3 weeks to write the first draft, and you guys came in pretty close
to when I finished that. So it was still, I mean, it may have been long in the process because my life was part of this process, but you jumped in and you were such a, more than just an editor, you were a real light. You were a real light in the dark that made me excited to be writing this book. There was a positivity that was not like, woo, I'm always happy about everything. There was a yes anding about the process, which we talk about a lot in improv, that you never say no to what someone gives you. You take it and you say, ooh, cool, yes, and let's add to that. And you were very, very, very much like that through the whole process. Can you tell the people at home how you came to working in this profession?
Oh, goodness. Well, I mean, it's
the fun part. the
fun part. Well, I have been writing and editing for my entire adult life, basically fell into it as a college job. And then just sort of grew from there. But I was kind of stuck in just this one tiny little narrow lane of writing and editing. And just through some, you know, how life just throws you stuff that makes you just, forces you to broaden your perspective and say,
those challenges, those dark moments where you're like, okay, I know this is here. I know I'm going to do something good with this because this is a happy ending story. So how do I deal with it?
But it's terrifying at the moment. Yeah. So I knew that I needed to do something more than just like this tiny little writing and editing gig that I'd been doing my whole life. And I needed to basically make more money. And so I started thinking about like becoming a teacher because that's what my job was. That's what my degree is in, and you know, they make nothing. So I was like, maybe I can drive for Uber. I went down that whole path. And a friend of mine was like, my therapist said, but aren't you a writer and an editor? And I'm like, well, I mean, kind of, sure. And he like helped me realize that what I've been doing for the last 18 years is actually a viable career. Wow. And that I do have a lot of experience in it and I am gifted at it. And so I started looking and I asked one of my friends who is also a writer, if you have any extra work that you want to throw my way, I'm trying to get my name out there. And this was the first project that was thrown my way.
The serendipity of this.
I know.
I cannot begin to tell you how cool it is because I very specifically, like I'm not a control freak, but I'm very picky about the people that I want around me in the creative process. And I know because that, you know, you want a certain kind of energy around you. If you're going to spend 16 hours a day with someone, you're going to want someone you like. Yeah. And I knew very much that I needed someone who was going to be patient, but also really fun to work with. And in my head, editing was not a fun job, at least in my head. You made this.
I love it.
You made the whole process fun for me as a first-time author. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud to announce that because we have formed Tiny Paws Publishing here in order to publish this book, my publishing company, Lauren is going to be, I guess I would call you, I don't know, editor-in-chief. You're my main editor. She's my editor. She's the gal. She's the gal. She's the go-to gal. She's the one. She's the person. Here's the arrival of the prince. Fresh from the dry cleaners. Hang on a second. He needs to make a very, very important appearance. Oh, you smell so good. Oh, Nugget. There he is.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. Are you so excited? He went to the dry cleaner. He did. He smelled so good. All right, go run around the house. I know. He's so excited. He's like 10 pounds lighter without all that fur.
That's the real star of the book.
He is the real star of the book. You guys, I was no dummy. I was like, okay, if I put Charlie in the book, at the very least, people will see awesome illustrations of my dog as a superhero. So there is a dog with a superhero cape on the cover of this book. If that's not a reason to pick it up, I don't know what is. That's a main reason. So also what I love about your story, and I think applies to not just the book, but about what everybody is talking about here, is the freedom to explore and figure out who you are. And part of who we are, part of our identity is what path we choose to be on at any given moment. Yeah. And I love the fact that it was your therapist, because I think a lot of people think of therapy as you only go if there's something wrong. Mm-hmm. I love the idea that your therapist was like a tour guide and just letting, and again, giving you permission to be like, no, this is actually a thing you can do. Like, this is like, put these two and two together. That happened to me as an actor. I didn't realize it was a viable profession until high school. I'd always thought, okay, well, I'm going to have to grow up and I'm going to have to be, I don't want to be a doctor. I'm going to have to figure out what I want to do. And all of a sudden I learned, oh, wait, there are people who are out here making a living doing this. There are people out here professionally doing theater. There are people out here paying their bills, doing the thing that I love to do. Mm-hmm. And when you're given that permission, you are so much more of yourself. And then you just get excited about working.
Yeah, I'm loving every project that I do. It's so invigorating, so affirming. I feel like I've found what I love to do. And yeah, I thought that if I wanted to be a writer or an author, I would have to write a New York Times bestseller or edit a New York Times bestseller. That was my scope.
Yep. Which the equivalent of
like the front. And this is a bestseller.
Yeah, not New York Times, but it is a bestseller.
Not yet. But and it just blew open the whole world of publishing for me, and what incredible little books are out there, and like with such depth and perspective, that I am so proud and honored to be able to work on.
Oh, you are the sweetest. And ladies and gentlemen, she is also an actress in her own right. I would like to tell, this is something that's like
I'm working on it. I'm still back where you were in high school.
But
I am back where you were.
Like a gazillion more skills than I do in other places. It's not about that. But I love that you have this thing, you have this art that you do for yourself, and you have this art that you do as your career. And I think that's a really, really important thing for all of us too, is to remember you don't have to do something. If I want to be an actor, I don't have to go to Broadway. It's nice that if I get to, but like, you don't have to do the big thing to get satisfied or to be fulfilled, I should say.
Honestly, that was one of the things that made me pause about doing writing and editing for a living, because I love writing so much. I didn't want it to be something that I did for a job and then it just became, a chore. And it honestly hasn't. I've been in it for over a year now. So it's still kind of fresh. Like, I've been in it for almost 20 years.
I was going to say, like, you've been doing
broader
perspective, but the particular phase of that chapter.
Yes. And every time I get a new project, I'm just so excited. Like, it's so much fun. So you can do what you love as a job and it not ruin what you love, is what I'm figuring out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well, and thank God it brought us together, because now you're stuck with me. I'm so excited. We actually, this is kind of a fun thing. I was in New York shooting something, and Lauren was coming up to see a show. And unfortunately, because of my schedule, I couldn't see that show, but that show was starring someone who's in the book. And I'm just going to leave it like that, because now you need to read the book in order to find out who that someone is. But it's just like, again, life being so serendipitous. We got to meet each other. We got to meet up with each other outside the theater before she had to run off for her flight. It's just very, very cool to know you. And I'm really grateful for how much heart you put into my project. Like, when someone cares as much about the thing that you are creating as you do, it's a pretty extraordinary thing to feel. Because then when you're tired or when you're grumpy or when you feel despondent or whatever, you got someone else who cares as much as you do. You realize, oh, no. Not only can I not stop doing this because they are counting on me to do well, but they're right. This is fun.
Yeah. And the thing
is supposed to be fun.
From our very first conversation, I knew that this book was going to change my life. And so I knew this book had to get out there, because if it could change my life, I knew it was going to change every reader's life. I mean, it completely shifted my perspective on what I was capable of, and gave me the, I don't know, gumption. There's a Southern word for you.
I love the
word. To just go after it, and not be afraid. So it was really cool to work on a book while it was changing your life.
That is one of the greatest compliments I have. And you wrote me a beautiful email about that at the end of our process, which I still have here on my desktop because I saved it and I check it out often to remind me that like it's moments like this when you connect with people like Lauren, like everybody who's been on this stream. It's moments like this when you're like, yeah, I don't care how tired I am. I don't care if I don't want to get out of bed. I don't care if I'm grumpy. I don't care if I'm sad. I don't care what's going on in my life. I have to keep doing the things that I'm doing because they're not for me. They're for someone else.
Yeah.
And that someone else needs you. And this is where I agree, gumption should be used more, Jane Higginson. This is where, and this is something that I talk about in the book and I talk about in the series, and I very, 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 very firmly believe this. You never know what conversation, forget about full relationship, forget about a working relationship like ours. You never know what conversation, what sentence might steer someone just this much on a different track and change their perspective, change their world. It sounds extreme to be like, it changed my life. But in many ways, you know, our life is a series of choices, right? It's a series, do I go left, do I go right? That's what takes you where you are. It's a choose your own adventure. And it's so we have the power, I talk about this in the book as well, that your personal superpower is your words and how you choose to use them. All of us have that power. All of us have the power to take someone down, which is I would highly recommend against that. And all of us have the power to build people up. All of us have the power to help someone find who they are. All of us have the power to objectively look at someone and see the things about them that are beautiful when they can't see them. Yeah. All of us have that. So whether it's a conversation at the supermarket, whether it's someone you're sitting with on the train, whether it's your best friend, whether it's your husband, whether it's whoever it is, you have that capability. You have that superpower. And just like any superpower with any superhero, with great power comes great responsibility, and it can be used for the powers of good or the powers of evil. But it's so much more fun to build people up than I think it is. I mean, I don't really know how it feels to take people down because I don't recommend it and I don't like to do it. So I can just tell you it's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of fun to help people find their way back to themselves. And thank you for helping me do that with this book. Because it's really special. Someone just asked a question. Let me see. What if you feel like no one needs you though? Harder to be motivated to keep going when you feel that way. What a great, no, it is absolutely a question for here, Jane Higginson. I think that's a fantastic question. I think sometimes we feel like no one needs us because we don't know who it is that needs us. And sometimes we can't know. Sometimes we don't know that the person mowing their lawn across the street needs you. Sometimes we don't know that the person walking down the street needs a smile today. Sometimes we don't know that the person we're sitting next to on the bus or the train just needs someone to strike up a conversation to get them out of your head. It doesn't have to be someone who desperately needs you and who you actually see the change in that moment. If you are not, I don't want this to sound judgy in any way, Jane, so please take this as it is meant. For me, let me tell you it this way. For me, I realized that so much of my dark moments came because I was like this. I was thinking about myself. I was thinking about what other people think of me, which is still thinking about yourself. I was thinking about how do I become the thing that everybody else wants me to be for acting, for life, which is still thinking about yourself. It's a very secluded and closed off place to be coming from. But when you stop and you say, okay, who's out there that I can do something good for? I don't care what that good is. That good could just be a smile. That good could be holding a door open. That good could be writing a book. That good could be hopping on a podcast. That good could be being in this chat and asking great questions that someone else may need someone to ask, but is too scared to ask, like you just did. That help that you give, you may not know that someone needs you, but I guarantee you they do. And that, I know it sounds like it comes from a place of faith. And for me, it comes from a place of knowing. It's not just faith in that. I've seen it too many times. I've had too many moments where I will get a message from someone and they will say, you don't know this about you, but I'm going to tell you 10 years ago, you said this thing to me and it completely changed the course of my life. And now this is happening. You don't know this, but I was at this convention and you said this thing to me and now I'm pursuing this career. You never know who needs you. So instead of allowing yourself to feel like you're useless and not needed, don't allow it, because it's not the truth. Someone out there needs you. The Underdog Community Project needs you. You know, the person down the street, the person sitting next to you, the person online. There's someone out there who needs you. So just be there. Just be there and be your beautiful self.
I would add and point out that you had no idea that I needed you. And I had no idea that you needed me.
I desperately needed you.
We both filled that in each other just from the starting point of just saying, I'm just going to be the biggest self that I can be. And I'm going to share what I know to share. And what you had to share with me, I desperately needed, and what I had to share with you, you desperately needed. So it's just, I think it starts from just being open to pedal the metal, you know, like going for it.
Exactly.
And just sharing what you have.
Thank you so much for sharing what you have with me. I'm very excited to see you next week. We're going to have a lovely celebration. We're going to be celebrating two things. We're going to be celebrating a little person, and we're going to be celebrating a slightly less little person. So it's going to be very exciting. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Can people find you online somewhere?
I mean, if they would like to. I don't know that they can. I mean,
okay.
Don't worry.
If any of you need an awesome editor, just email me at anjali@iamfunsize.com, and I will put you in the direction of this lovely, lovely lady. Yeah. All right, sweet thing. I'm going to let you go. We're going to bring it on home with our final guest, who is very exciting. I think everyone's going to be excited that this person is here. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your guidance. I will talk with you very soon.
Thank you so much. See you soon.
Bye. See you soon.
Bye.
Oh, kids. Okay. We're in our final few minutes, and we're going to bring it on home with a big appearance. I'm very excited. I'm just going to let him show up here. Oh, there he is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Cruz. It's Johnny Cruz, everybody.
How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. Does everybody have their Lucios at home? If you don't, you need to get some. What is up? Get some Lucios. How are you, my friend?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Very good to see you always. What a beautiful face.
God, it's so exciting. It's so silly that we don't see each other more because we live so close to each other. But I'm always excited whenever we do see each other and we've gone somewhere far away in order to see each other. Johnny was one of the very first guests that we had on the I Am Fun Size series.
That's very true.
And you dropped some epic wisdom that day, because it was a little bit what we were. Do you remember what it was?
No, I talk a lot.
Well, this is, again, what I love about this is it's precisely what we were just talking about earlier, when you don't know, because he's so used to just like dropping these pieces of wisdom that he doesn't think of as wisdom, because they're just things that he knows, right? They're things that you might take for granted about you, but someone else doesn't know that. Someone else, you don't know that someone else doesn't need that. And you're always dropping things like that all over the place, whether it's dropping positivity, whether it's dropping that smile, whether it's dropping that ridiculously good looking face, whatever it is. So Johnny, on his episode, was talking about remembering that when you give something, whatever it is, whether it's an audition, whether it is a gift, whether it is offering up an opinion, it's not your job to decide how they should take it. It's your job to trust that you are giving them something valuable, that you are offering something of service, that what you have is needed somewhere. And I love so much that you said that, because I often talk about how my auditions completely changed when I started walking into them being like, I got you guys, don't worry, I'm here for you. What do you need?
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you'll be entertained. Best case scenario, your job is done because I just filled the spot. We can all go home. Very true.
Very true. Yeah. It giving whatever you give as a gift and surrendering what comes of it, right? Sometimes we give a gift with I call it it's blood money. It's basically, here's this gift, but I want you to react a certain way or do something for me in a way that satisfies what I want. Which in an audition, you go in and they can feel the blood money if you're just like, I want this role, so I'm going to give this to you, but you gotta give it to me. So I think part of it is just like, can you just give freely and say, that's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. I'll see you guys later. I'm on to the next
Yeah.
I'm onto the next gift that I give. But that takes a lot of pressure off, you as a human to, to perform and judge yourself, all the judging of yourself you do, or judging your own gift of like, hey, are you going to like this? I hope you like this. Because even that, I hope you like this. I hope you like this is an energy that, is not as, yeah. You got to like me for this. You guys got to like me for the thing.
Please tell me you like me. Please tell me.
Like that. No,
that right there is still about us, right? It's not about giving the gift. Can you tell people, is there anything that you're working on that we can tell the people about, or is it all NDA stuff? I know for me, 90% of it is NDA stuff, which is why I offer up is it NDA stuff.
I got this amazing game coming out called Overwatch 2 on October 4th.
Oh my God, really? I've never heard of Overwatch. Could you tell me a little bit more?
Oh, it's a great game. One of the best characters in the game. Lucio is incredible. I have some other stuff that
I agree, but it's not my district.
How dare you?
I agree. It's not me. It's her.
I think that's the only thing I can pretty much mention. I'm working on another video game that
can't tell us about because you'd have to kill us.
I would never kill us whole. But I'd slap him around a bit. No, I think I'll announce stuff as it comes. But
gotcha. Well, Overwatch 2, I'm wicked excited for it. I'm excited to
do anything for it, or you?
I'm going to be in New York doing book signings that week. So I'm going to be out there. We are doing I'm doing a signing at Montessy Comics for those of you who are in New York City. And so anyone who is out there for New York Comic Con or anyone who is out there living right now, please swing by. I think it's on 39th and 5th or something like that. And they've got a whole thing set up on their website, which is very exciting. Graphic design that I don't know how to do in any way, shape, or form. They've got that magic happening. So that's where I'm going to be. I am not going to be near my PlayStation 5, which is probably good because nobody needs to see me playing Overwatch. I'm really bad at it. People need to see you playing Overwatch because you play really well.
I play all right. I play all right. Some would say I'm carried, and they'd be right. But but yeah, I think I'm excited to see what the fans are going to do, and I'm excited.
I'm excited to play it because the one thing I think we're allowed to say, because it's out there, and it certainly was out there when we played the I don't know, the sample, whatever technically you're supposed to call it at BlizzCon, is that it's much more story based. There's a lot more. We're gonna get a lot more lore, I think, right?
Down the line, this one's still PvP, a 5v5. They've changed up a lot of the player versus player. So the PvE is still going to be coming out hopefully a little later, but I do think we'll get a lot more story. I don't know. I actually have no idea. But
this is the thing that you guys
I'm just like everybody else. I'm like, what is happening? Like, can you tell?
That's what I think a lot of people don't realize when they ask us, like, can you tell us anything that's coming up? And I'm like, no, because I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. They're very smart.
Yeah.
They're very smart about not telling us things, because then there is no chance that we will tell people things. They're like, are you going to have a cinematic? I'm like, I don't know. Am I? Is that happening? I don't know.
Is it today?
It could happen. It could happen. Yeah. I don't know these things. What are you looking forward to the most in this upcoming week?
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
First, your brain.
Let's see.
You're not prepared for that?
I mean, I'm very
You're in the moment. Yeah.
Very exciting for me. Like, every morning a getting a cup of coffee is just a delight to me, right?
Dude, I have a whole chapter in the book about my coffee. You trust me. My whole morning thing.
Yeah.
I talk about the mugs. I talk about the coffee. Like I'm with you. Coffee is something I'm very excited to wake up for my coffee.
Yeah. I mean, food. I love food. Especially when you go from very dieting and working out, you find this other love of food that's so deep down in there that you always took for granted. So now I try not to take for granted, So yeah, just during the week, there's meeting with people and seeing people is always, I think, a joy for me. I like to be around people all the time. and I think maybe it's something I need to be alone for a little bit so I can.
I feel like
I need to be alone for a little bit so I can.
I feel like this. I feel like you're doing life right.
Huh?
I feel like all points to all signs point to Johnny is doing life right. So really, why fix it if it's not broke? Like you're doing it right.
I think I could give more. You're talking about giving. I think, my creativeness, my who I am as a creative person. I like to be lazy. But there are moments where I'm just like, I could give more of what I've learned over the years in a grander fashion. I think that kind of is in the back of my brain sometimes. So
well, I love how much you give through your comedy. And I know it may not feel like you are giving something like deep out of it, but there is so much. First of all, you have a very unique comic perspective of things. The whole teenage dad thing was I loved it so much. If you guys haven't checked out Teenage Dad, you guys got to check out Teenage Dad because it's ridiculously stupid fun. And it is the right kind of stupid fun. Like it's clever. It's what Johnny and what you guys did with that was so cool. But that gift that you give, that unique voice that you put out there, I feel like it gives people, okay, look, this is a categorically true thing. Everyone knows that you're a very good looking dude, right? When someone who's a very good looking dude also is willing to be silly and messy and take the piss out of himself and all of that stuff, it gives us all permission to do that. Right? You give people permission to be silly. You give people permission to be themselves. You give people permission to be wacky, to do silly things. And I love that about you. I love that about you.
I appreciate that. I think you too. The same thing, the way you put yourself out there and silly is always it's inspiring what you've over the years, what you.
Well, I'm always a sucker for a good pratfall. So anytime. Any place, anytime.
You're in one of my vlogs doing an incredible pratfall, and it's one of my favorites.
That's right. The one in Vegas. That's right. That was a good one. That was so
yeah.
Where can the people find you if they haven't already found you online?
Well, my home address is 7. Instagram. I haven't
on Twitter, on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah. Find me Johnny Cruz, JONNY CRUZZZ. Mostly on Instagram, TikTok, Johnny Cruz. You know what? I don't know my name.
You guys Google him. Just Google him. Just Google him. It's JONNYCRUZ. Just use the Google.
Yeah, use the Google. They gave me a number at the end of my thing and I don't even know why.
It's very confusing stuff. I tell people all the time, I'm like, I don't know, just Google me. You could probably find my
Google me.
Come like we can all Google each other these days. Everyone can. People Google stalk people before their day.
Get googly.
Entirely possible. Get googly. I like it. We're going to get, that sounds so Indian. We're going to get googly.
Googly.
All right. Johnny, thank you for bringing on home this stream. Thank you for visiting. I know that you are a busy.
You and what you do, you inspire a lot of people, and you're wonderful. So
well, thank you. Much love. And even though Symmetra and Lucio may be like this, you and I are like this. So I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Thanks for stopping by.
See you guys. Much love.
Bye. You guys, that's 2 hours. We did it. We made it through the party. Massive fun stuff. Okay, so I'm going to take 5 minutes here just to check in with you guys. Does anybody have any more questions that they want to talk about on today's stream before I move on to create more book launch magic with my left and right hand, Dennis and Drew and Dennis? I'm confusing which hand they are right now, but both of these lovely people who you cannot see right now, but behind the scenes are working diligently to make our book launch a success. And Dani, of course, our gorgeous sorceress behind the scenes here. Let's see. Oh, yes, of course. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so it might take you guys a minute. Let me just remind you the places where you might be able to find you can find the book right now. You can find the ebook, I Am Fun Size and So Are You, Thoughts from a Tiny Human on Living a Giant Life. You can find that on the Amazon. Just to put that in the search there. You can find the paperback currently at streamily.com/Anjali Bhimani. It will be on Amazon very soon, as will the audiobook be. So keep an eye out. Follow me on the socials. Here we go. How do you maintain the level of energy, enthusiasm you have? I will tell you how. I do not do it 100% of the time. There are times when I am tired and I crash. There are times when I am grumpy and I take a nap. There are times when I am a hot mess, which Dennis has seen many times since we have met each other. I don't maintain it 100% of the time. None of us can. But I will say that so much of the excitement and enthusiasm that I have comes out of knowing that I have been in very dark places and I have figured out for me, just for me, how I made it out, which means to me that anyone can. And so if that's the case, if life can be that exciting, I just want to help people realize that that's possible. And when you see the difference that can make in life, when you see how much more fun it can be when you are completely yourself, and you help people find that, whether through your acting, through your storytelling, through talking to them, through getting on the phone, through these live streams, whatever, all of a sudden it becomes a mission. Like you just don't want to stop. You really don't want to. I get very frustrated when I get tired because I'm like, no, I want to do so much more. And then I get grumpy and then my husband tells me to go take a nap. That's how that happens. So that's a big part of it. Such a busy bee. Is there anything you'd like to do when you get overwhelmed? Crash. Remind myself when I'm overwhelmed, I try to remind myself that it doesn't all need to get done right now. You can do everything you want, just not all at the same time. I also am not particularly good at not getting overwhelmed. So I will say that it is an ongoing journey. That is definitely something. And again, Dennis and Drew help me very much with that. My husband, Rick, helps me very much with that. The dog helps me with that. That's one of the keys, snuggle with the dog. Whenever you have a problem, snuggle with a dog. I promise you it helps. It just changes things just that much. DeBomb. What is next for my writing? I have 3 different books that I am working on right now that I don't want to tell you about because they're secrets, but I'm very excited about one in particular that is specifically for the artistic community. But I also believe that everyone is an artist, which is also an episode of I Am Fun Size, that we all have some form of creativity that we are using in our lives, and how to cultivate that and how to eliminate the things in your life that are telling you all the reasons you can't be creative, and leaning into the things that keep you hungry. So that is coming for sure. All right, you guys, we have to run. We have exciting Fun Size Central things to do. We have books to pick up and places to see and things to go and people to be with and all sorts of things. You guys, as I always say, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, okay? It's important. Taking care of each other and taking care of yourselves. And remember that if you feel alone, you are not. Someone would miss you if you were gone. Reach out to people on the internet, reach out to people in your life. There is a world out there that needs you. So don't ever forget that. And that's all for today. We'll see you soon. We have another stream on Saturday on Streamily. I mean, on Instagram through Streamily. So that's coming on Saturday. If you need more, I don't know, there's a lot of Anjali to take in, but if you need more, come on over on Saturday. We'll be doing that Instagram live at noon. And in the meantime, big love. I hope to see some of you at the signings this week in Los Angeles on Tuesday and Thursday, or in New York the following Thursday. And don't forget to lean into that fun.